So David Whammy Lammy, our Deputy Prime Minister, God only knows how he achieved that lofty status. The man who actually thought Henry VIII's successor was Henry VII.
Who acceded to the English throne at the age of 9 on the death of his father Henry VIII in 1547?
Henry VII.
Edward VI.
That grown men could miraculously grow a cervix.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix, David?
I don't know if it's transphobic, but it's not accurate, Nick. I mean, obviously, it's probably the case that that trans women don't have ovaries, but a cervix, I understand, is something that you can have following various procedures and hormone treatment and all the rest of it.
And a man that couldn't find a policeman, despite the fact there was one stood right behind.
Policing has vanished. It's not around you. We haven't seen a police while I've been here, and I've been here for a little while now.
He's decided to go on air on the BBC today and announce that Nigel Farage was a member of Hitler Youth. The man is 60. He is clearly not old enough to have been a member of Hitler Youth. Have a listen.
Well, you just said we called his policy racist, and that's because it is. Nigel Farage would send them home. That, I'm afraid, is discriminatory. It is racist. The policy is racist.
So yes or no, is Nigel Farage a racist?
I answered your question. I'm not going to play the man. I'm playing the ball as our leader did. I will leave it for the public to come to their own judgments about someone who once flirted with Hitler Youth when he was younger. That is for the public, but we will be absolutely clear about the policy choice before the British people in the years ahead as we head to the general election.
Well, I'm sure we will be hearing from Nigel Farage at some point after that to refute some of those suggestions.
We'll be hearing from Nigel Farage to refute some of those suggestions. Well, why could the BBC not refute those suggestions? Do you think if I went on a state broadcaster and said that Sir Keir Starmer was a member of Hitler Youth, that they wouldn't call out the fact that I have announced that someone was a member of Hitler Youth when actually Hitler Youth was disbanded? Nigel Farage is 60. He could not have been a member of Hitler Youth. He could not have flirted with Hitler Youth. The BBC, as our state broadcaster, should have called this out, as they would have done had a right-wing politician said that about a left-wing politician. They show their bias. It is clear as day. Nigel Farage was a member of the cadets when he was... I wonder if actually David Lammy thinks that kids who fly our national flag are naturally comfortable with being members of the Hitler Youth, because that's fascism these days, isn't it? They call our flags, the flying of our flags, they call that an act of vandalism. Well, I think actually they reveal themselves. They show themselves for exactly what they are, and when someone does that, you ought to believe them. They sneer at us, they devalue our flag, they sit in their conference hall, flying the national flag. All the while, they cheer the likes of Palestine. They cheer the fact that the Labour Party is focusing on issues that do not matter to the British people and do not prioritise us for a change instead of prioritising interests. I'm afraid to say the Labour Party's conference, in which Sir Keir Starmer has called Reform and our voters racist, in which David Lammy has suggested that actually Nigel Farage was a member of Hitler Youth, and a whole host of other ways in which actually they've shown themselves to be incredibly out of touch with the public. And I think come May, as Nigel Farage says, there is going to be a de facto referendum on the Labour Party in government. It'll be what the Americans call their midterms. Well, we're going to get our own midterms in Scotland, in Wales, and in parts of England too. And I think the writing is going to be shown to be on the wall for this absolutely disgusting, despicable Labour Party. How dare they incite violence in this way, as they suggest that Nigel Farage has done? Calling him Hitler Youth. What do you do with someone if they're actually Hitler? Why do people say that if they could go back in time, time, who is the number one person that they would get rid of? It's, of course, Hitler. Why wouldn't you want to do that? Well, guess what they're going to do? There's someone that the Labour Party tells them on state television that is actually a member or flirted with Hitler Youth. They're going to want to try and take him out. This is inciting violence in the same way they accuse us of doing. Shame on you. Whammy, Lammy, you are despicable and you are not worthy of the office in which you currently serve.